So guys, we're investing in some tech today. Let's take a look here. Advanced Micro Devices, so AMD, recently was purchased by Principal Financial Group. And we're not talking about really a small purchase. We're talking about $416 million. So if you back up onto Google here, you can see it wasn't just 588,000 shares here with Principal Financial Group, but we also saw some other companies, 4.14 million here on Jackson Square Capital LLC. We saw Advisor Resource. They took a $743,000 position. And really the list goes on. Wealth Architects. These all happened right around 5 a.m. At start of today, right? November 7th. And we ended up purchasing AMD today right around 3 a.m. I know that sounds crazy. I've seen some sell-offs happening, and I went over it today in our live session. For those of you guys that would like to surround yourself with other traders and investors, and you'd like to watch me trade live every single morning, that's Stockmate. And we have, again, our discount code until Friday. It's ending on Friday. If you want to get in, it's $200 off. And I just recently launched Stockmate, so that's why it's there. Second link in the description. The $275 gain that we see here that we've made on AMD is just kind of a piece. We also had about $127 gain over on AMDL. So similar to how you trade, like you guys might want to leverage certain stocks when you're investing in tech and AI, especially in a time right now where you're seeing moves that could be fairly predictable. And so you got TSLL, which is Tesla, you got Nvidia, you got Amazon, Google, Microsoft. There's different stocks that exist that go up 2% every time the underlying asset goes up 1%. And so that's the same thing here with AMDL. We had a smaller position over on AMDL, had an average price of average purchase price of, what is that, 1160, and it's gone up to $12.29, up a little bit over $120 on that one. We're seeing it push up after hours. Now, the reason this is a critical time, a couple reasons. The first reason, guys, it's undervalued. It could be that maybe there's so much attention on companies like Tesla or Palantir, or we had a lot of attention on Microsoft stock. But what we saw is AMD, they beat their earnings. They were showing positive signs of growth. This semiconductor company still sold off tremendously after their earnings. And so now what we identified was that it was starting to recover. We see this reversal happening on AMD. And then today is, when I purchased earlier this morning in our live session in Stockmate. And again, if you watched it, you know that we saw this reversal happening. We purchased right before those other hedge funds actually got in. It crossed this moving average. So as soon as it crosses the moving average, what does that mean? Well, that's meaning that we're actually seeing a change in direction. And the same thing can be true. Like, for example, AMD was kind of selling off here back in August. As soon as it crossed over that moving average, that 200-day moving average, we saw it really bull up for the next few months. Same thing here. We saw it selling off. It was below the moving average, pushed up momentarily right before earnings, before selling off. And now we're retesting. We just pushed above it. So it's kind of a breakout that we're seeing with AMD. It was up a little bit over 4 or 5% on AMD today. And then after hours, we're up about 1.5% on the day. So between kind of like the news that has continued to fuel our position here on AMD, and it really just validating that support. I mean, we looked at this support. We saw a consistent kind of uptrend, even with the sell-off after them reporting positive revenue growth, but the market sold off. They didn't see any big push-ups on the 5th or during the elections, but now they're seeing that push-up happen. And yeah, again, we saw it validate that support there. Next target, if we look on AMD for where we could see this going, we're probably looking up here. And I can actually draw this trend line so you guys get, there's a resistance, there is a resistance, there's a resistance, there's a resistance. So that's kind of the direction we're going. You can see it's making higher lows. Here's a support. support, support. It's slowly moving up, and now we see it, really making its way to what we could see as that $177 range. I saw they upgraded the fair value on AMD. I believe it was $165 a share. So even the intrinsic value, the fair value of AMD is below what it's worth. So that's something to keep in mind, especially in this time where we're right at a support, starting to get that confirmation of an uptrend. So that's why we entered the position. Again, on main AMD stock, we're about 275. Now, the other thing is we can see, so that's AMD, but the AMDL, if we see that same move kind of take place, again, kind of mapping out that resistance here in that uptrend, and I can draw what would be the support here as well. If we see that same move play out on AMDL, which we are also invested in here, we could actually see what would be a 43% increase. And I don't know that's going to happen in 2 days. It could be, longer out, like a week or so. And we could see it, sell back down, maybe retest, but really looking bullish on the semiconductor space. So aside from AMDL, my Schwab portfolio is doing, we're up on SOX, which is SOXL right here, which we also saw in the same pattern, right? I'm trading the same pattern. It's simple. We have a simple system. We look for that support. I got an average purchase. I've been covering it for a while, around $33, $34. And we're up. I think we're 6% today, which is awesome over on the Schwab portfolio. But yeah, again, guys, want to give you an update. That's kind of the outlook for AMD. There's some great news, great fundamentals. Their financials are looking fine, and their overall technicals are looking fine as well as their fair value. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Friendly reminder, we have that discount on StockMate here just until tomorrow night, Friday. So if you would like to watch me trade live every single day, it's that second link in the description. I would encourage you to simply take a look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I earned your thumbs up, and do consider subscribing. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.